Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
All right, welcome back everyone to another deal reveal, and I am super excited here today. Quick update with JK. Janie and I just came back from Toronto and Hamilton just this morning. We spent a couple days there planning out 2023 in the JK brand, and we have got a ton of exciting changes to bring. So stay tuned. We are repackaging to provide even more value to young and old, new and veterans in the JK family. So super exciting across the board. Stay tuned. So today, JK Deal Reveal, we are also going to be looking at another property provided by one of our community members. And I'm going to remind you up front that we have an upcoming blueprint, if you didn't know, in just 2 weeks' time, more or less. We have another blueprint, full 3-day blueprint for you to get those get the foundational education you need to launch your US real estate investing portfolio and or business. So that's coming up. So today we are going to go back to Florida. We have a property that was submitted. Who submitted this deal for us? Terry. Thank you, Terry, for submitting this deal. And we are going to go see if this is a deal or no deal. We have a property in Florida asking $185,000. Let's see if this is a go and how to take it to the next step. So 1, 2, 3, start your timers, off we go. So very first thing to do, we're going to put that address in the Google, and we are maybe going to type in Zillow beside it, or Truly, or Redfin. We're going to try to find that property and get a little bit of information about it. Okay, so interesting here is that it seems to be asking 185 for it, and Zillow is showing a value of 110 in a pre-foreclosure. So this is definitely something we want to take a look at. This might have been a property that they only a couple weeks ago, when this was submitted to us, maybe they were just trying to sell it, and they couldn't sell it fast enough for a decent enough price, so it fell into pre-foreclosure. Maybe there's something to do about that. No zestimate per se, but we can take a look at what type of neighborhood. Seems to be a cul-de-sac, 1,600 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath property. So single family home, built in 1960. We don't have a zestimate, right? So let's see if we can kind of manually get a sense of how much this property might be worth. It was listed for sale about a year ago for $150,000. So, and there was a pending sale, but it didn't close. Before that, it was listed for $160,000, and in 2003 for $70,000. So it's looking, just from the history, the sales history, it's looking like 185 is way too high. But if we are around the 110,000, maybe that's changing the deal. Let's take a look at properties that might be nearby. Sharon Circle. So these are on the same street, right? We have a 3-2. This is very similar to our property. It's actually right next door. 834. Ours is 830, and this one has a zestimate of 193. And this 4-2, very nearby as well, larger property, for 250. So I don't see any sold comps or anything on the market right now. So we can look at this map and get a sense of what's happening. So let's see. The average pricing of properties in this area: yellow are sold properties, red are for sale properties. So we're right in this cul-de-sac here, and all those neighbors, look at that, 190, 250, 240, Very interesting. A lot of 200s on this street, right? So these are all Zestimates, indications of value per Zillow. And I didn't want to click there. And although it is very important that Zillow is a marketing and advertising service company software. And so actually looking at the sold comps nearby, this one actually sold for 155. This one actually sold for 125, etc. And I don't know why it keeps on clicking that for me. So let's just get back to that map here. The closest comp is this one. I'm going to actually, sorry, it's clicking. It shouldn't be clicking. And I'm trying to just get some data for you here. Okay, so I'm going to try to click on this like that. Okay, so this is a 3.2 1500, very similar to in size and bedrooms and bathrooms to the one we're looking at, which actually sold two and a half months ago for 155,000. So this I would consider a much stronger estimation of value than the neighboring Zestimates, for example. But we're somewhere in that range. I'd say probably in the range of 150 to 200. We seem to be very comfortably in there for this property. So if we're really asking 185, it's probably right around market. But if we can catch this for 110 in pre-foreclosure or in foreclosure, we are definitely satisfying the first golden rule of real estate, which is buy at a discount, buy equity, buy capital, buy net worth every time you buy real estate. So that's number one. Number two, second golden rule of real estate is buy cash flow. So we can take a look to see, as a long-term rental, what would this property kick off, okay? So we can go to rental meter, put in the address, bedrooms and baths, and we see that rent would be probably in the 1,600 to 2,000 range, depending on if we have higher end finishes, brand new renovated, high-end finishes, or mostly just an average, just make it rent ready, nice, definitely livable, 1,600. So here, one quick trick that we can do is the 50% rule or the 1% rule, okay? So the 1% rule, I haven't talked too much about this. I talk about it in our Mathemagics training, but the 1% rule is basically saying if your monthly rent is less than 1% of the purchase price, you're most likely not going to cash flow. In fact, you're not going to cash flow going into asset-based lending like most of us are as foreign nationals. So let's say we buy this property for 185,000 and rent is 1,600. Well, if you take your 1,600 and you divide it by your purchase price, right? We are at 0.8%. We're under the 1% rule, right? And it's very easy to look at. You just basically chop off the two digits, right? From 185,000, remove the two zeros, it gives you 1,850. So if your rent is below 1,850, like it's basically forget about it. You're under the 1% rule. There are properties in the US that satisfy the 1% rule. So for a long-term rental, unless you're buying this property for 110,000 turnkey, well, you're not satisfying the 1% rule here. For example, if you would buy this for 110,000, the 1% rule would say if your rent is above, chop two zeros, above 1,100, you would satisfy the 1% rule. And the long way about it, so let's say you take the lower side of your rent here and you divide it by 110,000, you have 1.4%, which would be starting to be rather strong, especially in Florida for long-term rentals, right? If you're in the Midwest, a 1.5 is definitely what you should target or higher, right? So just little benchmark, quick trick nuggets for you to lean on as you quickly analyze these deals. So what I'm seeing here, most likely we're in the 185 range, and it's not satisfying the 1% rule. That's kind of what I'm gathering right now. We'd have to put in an offer, investigate to make sure, is this really 110,000 in pre-foreclosure? That would change numbers radically. So one quick question to say yeah, yay or nay on the long-term rental side. But being Florida, being Lakeland, who knows? This might be a pocket where short-term rentals could really change the numbers. So we can do a similar assessment as we just did with long-term rentals with Rental Meter. We can go to airdna.co and we can plug in that property and see what comparable short-term rental properties on Airbnb and VRBO are doing. And I forgot to log in to the right account for this, and I apologize. I won't be able to solve it on the spot. So with AirDNA, if you don't run into that technical glitch, you'll be able to go to the Rentalizer tab and put in the property's address, make sure that the bedrooms and bathrooms are lining up, right? And that'll give you a projection based on market averages for short-term rentals, what the annual income would be. And typically, that number is 2 to 3 times higher than the long-term rental numbers. And you can see that that might completely change your numbers as you look at this property as an investment or as a your castle property, like the Key to Castle program we just wrapped up last week, yesterday, actually. So that is that. Sorry, I won't be able to pull out the numbers right now. I forgot to sign in before the call, and I'm running off my phone. So apologies, I won't be able to solve this on the spot. So that is it for our deal reveal. Let me know, is this a deal or no deal for you? Deal or no deal on this property, and what are your considerations moving forward? So Adam, Chrissy, Rory, Peter, Teresa, Cheryl, our extended Facebook family, what do we have to say? Is this a deal or no deal at 185? Would 110 be a complete, absolutely jump on board? So what are your next steps on this particular deal, on this opportunity? Let's hear it. Adam's asking, where do you see it's 110 in pre-foreclosure? This is not a for sure thing. It was on Zillow. When I went on Zillow, I saw that there was a 110 figure right here and pre-foreclosure. Not a for sure. It might be. We just need to confirm that because that would change the numbers quite a bit, wouldn't it? So this is why I would inquire about its status. Excellent. Other questions? Oh, the chat's not working. Sorry. So not the chat, but in the Q&A section. In that case, we converted it to the webinar. I meant Q&A. I said chat. Apologies for that. So Sterling, if you close at 110, that would be a deal for Sterling. So thank you for that. So a little bit of work to do. But the point here on these deal reveals is we don't spend 2 days looking at a deal, right? We spend 5 minutes, got a good sense of where would it fall for it to be a deal, where does it not fall to be a deal, and we just take the next best action, most effective action to move forward in that deal-breaking filter. Meaning, if it's not 110, we can move on to something else, right? If it is 110, haha, let's have a real talk. Adam, is there any way of knowing how recently Zillow was updated? Zillow, it works by algorithm, so it's always up to date. It's just that they have a what's the word, intention. They're motivated. They want to show the best values as well. So these values may be inflated just by virtue of Zillow being a private company, a marketing company that want to keep bringing the real estate market up. But it is an opinion. It is a valued opinion in the real estate space in US real estate. So a lot of people, when they want to sell their property, they go to Zillow, they see this estimate, and they put it for sale for that amount. And they might know their actual property value is a little bit lower, but heck, there's a proof, or there's an indication of proof online, easily accessible, that that's the value. So it's one opinion that we can base it on. You're welcome, Adam. Fantastic. So we got some deals, right? Something to work here. But I think at 185, there's a little bit of work to do. So that is it. Deal or no deal. If you went deeper into your AirDNA, you may find out that you can generate 50,000 a year off this property. And on a 50% rule, well, let's do it, right? Just as an example, let's say you went on AirDNA and you saw 50,000, right? We can use our 50% rule, cut it in half. If this property generated $25,000 a year and you bought it for 185, let's say that was the number, well, you'd be at a 13.5 cap, right? So you can see how long-term might completely, it doesn't even satisfy the 1% rule, but it's in this location where there's tourism, there's local attractions, there's lots of movement from tourists and travelers and families and medical and competitions or whatever it might be, so that it makes that there's a high rental demand for short-term rentals, and that can completely change the numbers. So now we kind of have a double lens, a double try on our investments in the US. So that's pretty cool. So deal or no deal? Let's find out. And for those of you who have not yet attended our blueprint, well, we are putting together for the very first time a free seminar, a 4-part free seminar that's going to be starting next Monday, okay? And if you're interested, you can just sign up here, n4t.club/blueprint seminar, a 4-part free seminar for you to attend to get those nuggets of the blueprint and eventually get you one step closer to your investing goal. So that was our deal reveal for this evening. I hope you enjoyed. Go get your miracle now for tomorrow. And if you have a desire to join this community, Facebook is going to be a much larger player in the JK brand moving forward. So if you're not already part of the online Facebook community, go ahead, find us. Now for Tomorrow Club, we have a group, we have a page, join both, and that's where there's a lot of new announcements that are going to come out, new offers. The programs are going to be made very clear for you, and honestly, it's going to be epic. What we've put together for 2020, well, the end of 2022 and 2023, it's going to be different, all right? But different is good, and 2023 is going to be out of this world. So hopefully you can join us. If you have any questions, or if you want to submit your deal to the deal reveal, this is how you do it. Have a great evening, everyone. See you soon.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for